MLB The Show just released one of the biggest and best content updates in Diamond Dynasty. So many brand new diamonds, which means it's time to once again rank every card within MLB 25 at every position. And as always, I want to hear your favorite cards that you are loving for your team. Leave a like down below, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new, and let's go. Got a lot to talk about. Once again, as I always say, these are my personal rankings, and there's always going to be a bit of bias towards cards that I perform very well with. But generally, I'm trying to rank these cards objectively and statistically across the board, the best ones that I would recommend, but ultimately, it comes down to you. Which cards do you like to play with? And that's why I want to hear your opinion in the comments. So let's go down the line, position by position, starting with the backstops. For each position, I'll talk about what I value, what I think is most important. And as always, this is not in any particular order within the tier. And unfortunately, it just jumbles them all the time when you open up this client. Show zone. Catchers. I really do not think there is a de facto best. And one thing that I want to really push towards with this tier list, there's lots of people that struggle. Righty-righty, lefty-lefty, particularly left-handed batters, left-handed pitchers. A lot of people really like having a switch hitter because you always have the handedness advantage. So you notice here, all but one are switch hitters. I definitely value switch hitting very much so. I don't know exactly how you can quantify it, but I would be willing to say for me, I would take -5s on all hitting for them to be a switch hitter because it is an advantage. It all comes down to the person. I love the Joe Mauer. He's my current catcher. If you struggle lefty-lefty, I get why he might not be so good for you. Ultimately, catchers, it comes down to the hitting. Fielding attributes do not really matter too much. The only one I give a shit about is arm strength. And even then, if you got one of the 99 stealing, 99 speed guys, you're not throwing them out anyway. Especially if you don't have pop time, and none of these guys do. Very rarely are you going to find that quirk, and I don't think it is so good that is going to take a guy who's got substandard offense into that S tier. Adley Rutschman, love this card. I know a lot of people have been using him. He's fairly affordable if you get him within the summer collection. It doesn't take too much stubs. It does take the mini season, which is unfortunate. That's one thing. Quick tangent. I would prefer if there was some other way instead of making people go throughout that entire ordeal, saying play this like 20, 25 games and pay kind of a slap in the face. Anyway, side comment beside. Adley Rutschman, like him a lot. Very balanced contact and power. He's got good speed too. Great swing. Carlos Santana. He's probably going to be on S tier for, quite some time, even still. Maybe even next update. He's a 92. Proves overalls don't matter. That card mashes, and I don't judge these based off parallels because I don't know what parallels you have. It's just not fair to do so. But obviously, if you are still using him, it is likely that you do have a little bit of a buff on him. The new Veritek. I've liked him as I've gotten him so far, completing the Prime Collection. Really did like that free Veritek earlier in the year. Mauer talked about him. The highest contact, highest vision, highest clutch that you're going to find. The PCI, it's real big. Might want to give it a little Manjaro shot at some point to deflate it. It doesn't matter who you face. Clemens, Kershaw, he's going to have a bigger PCI. And then Kyle Schwarber. He is a lefty, so two lefties on here. I don't know why. Can you imagine if Schwarber was a switch hitter? That'd be insane. But very good hitting for him. The speed, not so much. The defense, not so much. But again, who cares? That doesn't really matter. We'll go to A tier here, and I guess show off B tier also. The Hunter Goodman, very good card. I've had a chance to use him a decent bit. Got him in co-op the other day, and he was raking for me. I really like him as a righty swing. And then you've got that new Salvador Perez of the Prime Series. Also a guy who's always got a pretty good swing. This time has speed on the card as well. Not the entire category of quirks like he's had in the past. Same could be said for Hunter Goodman. I don't think he has even one of them. Definitely a detractor. And then you've got the guys who have been returning. Jorge Posada, still very good. I know people who run Posada still as their main catcher. He's got a fantastic swing, and he's got the quirks to boot. Mike Piazza, I hit over 500 with this card when I got a chance to use him. A handful of flat was inflated due to playing Battle Royale, but he did help me get a 10-1. Really like the card. I think they switched his swing. It feels a lot better this year. And then Yasmani Grandal, one of my parallel 5 catchers that I've been able to get this year. Hit so many home runs with him. He might have 10 speed, but it doesn't matter if it goes over the wall. Keep on going to B tier. Cards that you could use. Again, depends how you play, but a step down, obviously. You've got some color rush guys, Bo Naylor, Rio Muto, Keber Ruiz, a couple of tops now, Ohapi, Kyle Teal, and Braxton Fullard. And Ted Simmons, always going to have a lot of love for Teddy Sims. Did a lot of work with him earlier on in the year. Wilson Contreras, then keep on going down a little bit. Live series, whenever you see those, I don't really judge based off inside edge because you can't guarantee or count on that being X amount of boost every day. It changes. It fluctuates. That's the whole point of inside edge. So if Cal Raleigh gets a very favorable inside edge, he would be up the ranks a little bit. It just depends on a daily matchup, day-to-day basis. You've got some other tops now cards that came out fairly recently, like the Narvaez, the Dalton Rushing, and whatnot. Certainly okay options, but realistically, the best is not too bad right now. If you look at the S tier, none of them are free, but Veritek and Adley are fairly affordable. Carlos Santana's gotten quite affordable too if you want to check out that collection. Joe Mauer, I think, is like 50, 60K. And then besides that, you've had that Piazza who is free. Yaz is pretty easy. Salvi's free. I think catcher is a pretty fair position, all things considered. Move on to first base. I do still think this is a tier of 1 at the top, and that is Gil Hodges. I had a very tough start with Gil. I think my first 40 or so plate appearances, I was rocking a cool 700 OPS. I'm happy to say that is now 1100. I've gotten that up quite a bit, and I've really liked him. I figured out his swing. It's kind of hard to pull the ball with Gil, but I've been making it work as of late. I know a lot of people are not in love with Gil Hodges' swing, and they will take a lower overall card with worse attributes just because they perform better with them. And that is also something I always want to recommend. Who cares how good the attributes are at the end of the day? How do you perform? That is really all that matters. So, always a big fan of that. And when new cards come out, even if they are better on paper, I like to see those cards play out in my lineup. Let them struggle and then get another guy having an opportunity. Next man up mentality. You've got A tier, Carlos Santana once again in here. Also, a couple guys, Berkman, O'Hearn, Vlad, and Yandy Diaz. I don't call this the immortal tier for Gil anymore because I think the gap is being bridged. I don't think it is a Grand Canyon-sized gap, but I do think Gil is still the best there, if that makes sense. The Lance Berkman, switch hitter, very good contact, and he's got good power as well. Really like the swing on him. I've had a lot of fun with him so far. Ryan O'Hearn, I talked the gospel about that card when he released. I've had a ton of success with him. Really great contact. The power against lefties is not tremendous, but he will hit taters against righties for sure. Vladdy, almost up to that Gil Hodges echelon. He doesn't quite have like the contact left, and his power's missing a little bit. But Vlad, I know a lot of people love his swing. He is still very expensive, but that card is, I mean, as close as you could get to Gil Hodges without being Gil Hodges. The defense at first base, I do care about. I think you notice a difference between, honestly, Gil Hodges, he's like one of the best rated defenders at first base. He gets horrible animations for me. I don't know what it is. Every now and then he'll decide to make a good play, but most of the time it seems like he just, watered off of Willie Nelson's tour bus. He doesn't know what zip code he's playing in. He damn sure doesn't know what to do if he gets the baseball. I don't value first base defense too much. It's nice to have, but it's not the end of the world. Yandy Diaz. Really like that card. Talk about contact galore, sort of like the right-handed Joe Mauer, but at first base, I would say. Really high PCI makes it easy to hit, increases that timing window. Ultimately, that's what the vision stat, which Yandi's very high on, that's what it's going to do alongside helping you foul off pitches and stay in counts. Move on down to B tier. We got the new Alec Burleson, who I really do like that card. I think he mashes. I had an opportunity to use him a decent bit throughout the grind within Player of the Month, and I thought he has a really good swing. So I'm looking forward to giving him a little bit more of a shot. Casey Schmidt, he's not shit. He's actually pretty good, and he's about 8K. Give him a shot. He's kind of good. You'll see him on a couple different positions today. Hank Greenberg doesn't quite have that vision you would like to see for a top-end card, and the contact is about mid-90s. Good, not quite great up to the A tier. Jumping Jammer Candelario, you know, I love him. The ball just jumps off the bat. Switch hitter, fielding sucks, but who cares? The hitting does not. I got him parallel 5, really like him. Richie Sexton, the Sex God. He is 6'8". He's a tall drink of water. It is really going to throw off your perception of the strike zone. You're going to have, you know, balls just float up there. You're like, well, that's a ball. That's a pitch out. Oh, strike 3. You're out. It sucks. It's tough to get used to guys like him, Judge, and that's personal preference at the end of the day. Filing it down, too. C tier, you got the new Alex Gordon. Really good defense, just kind of lost at first base. You need the hitting more so here. The Kobe Mayo, if you love the prospect card, this one is pretty good offensively. He rakes. David Ortiz, Big Papi. I know a lot of people really love that card. One of the most popular in all of MLB 25. He's super good. If you hit well with him, keep on keeping on. You've got the Eddie Murray switch hitter, kind of fun. That Otto Kemp, also a versatile guy, Swiss Army knife. He's actually really good. I don't know how they fit all those attributes into a 92. He's a really good card. Give him a shot, especially if you're a Philly fan. You probably already know. Willie McCovey, I want to talk about him for a second because the card is not horrible, but he's not very good against lefties. And I'm going to be harsh on platoon players. If you want to run a platoon, that's perfectly fine. I've recommended it in the past, but I can't grade a card for highly for just being able to hit one side. You know what I mean? All the other cards, they're able to do everything, and that's the overall grade on a grand scale. So McCovey, great against righties, not so great against lefties, and that's why he winds down a little bit in the tiers. Wilmer Flores, really do like that card at C tier. Adam Dunn, honestly, I think this is a mistake. He is supposed to be in C. I don't know why he ended up in D tier, but he should be C. Really do love that swing. He hit some of the hardest and furthest home runs in the game. I don't know if they have specific code for him. He crushes. If you know, you know. Otherwise, you got some older game darlings like Santander, Babe Ruth, that have certainly lasted people quite some time. You've got a couple live series, Harper and Freddie Freeman. Harper, obviously, when he comes back from injury, gets some good inside edge, and they've got fantastic swings, which play a lot. Otherwise, bunch of options. There's lots of guys who can play first base. You are never going to be short of options here. But I think first base always, for the most part, is a very easy position to find a great player. If you look at the top of the top, he's going to cost you, but you do have that O'Hearn who is free, and I guess he's the only free one here. There's definitely good value picks within A tier that have gone down significantly in recent time, and first base overall, I think you can get very good players for low cost. Moving on to second base, which I wouldn't have said there was a de facto best heading into Friday. I think there is, and that's Bobby Grich. Now, I'm not putting him on a standalone tier because I think Brooks Lee and Trey Turner are close, but Bobby Grich truly is really good. I mean, he is just fundamentally sound. Everything is really good with that card, and it might not be maybe the sexiest name, Bobby Grich. Maybe you used the card earlier on in the year, but as I mentioned before, a lot of people like using their favorite players. card from 1979. A lot of people were not alive to see that, but very good card nonetheless. Contact in the mid 110s range, power at 106 and 96 respectively with maxed out clutch, 70 speed, silver shield defense. I do care a lot about defense at second base. I think that is the second most important, no pun intended, position for defenders within the infield. There's lots of balls that you are tasked to up the middle that you have to have the range to go get. A lot of dribblers that will go through the middle if you have a poor reaction rating, and more often than not, your infielder just can't get that jump, can't get enough reaction to the ball and make a play on it. Also, I do weirdly think height is a big thing too. Diving is so overpowered within MLB The Show. If you press R2, you are magnetizing onto the ball. And if you are a 5'6" Jose Altuve compared to a 6'7" Ellie De La Cruz, you've got a lot more real estate where you can Superman dive to and make plays. Ellie, by his height, can make plays that Altuve cannot, both horizontally and vertically. So those are big things. Brooks Lee, love the card. Not biased. I think a lot of you guys understand. When that card came out, it was weird that he was so good. I mean, the contact, I have him at parallel 3. He's pretty much maxed out contact. The power, 107 against right, 76 against lefties. High vision, pretty much maxed out clutch, and pretty fair fielding at a couple of different spots. Brooks Lee is incredible. Trey Turner, one of the best swings, I would argue top 5 within MLB The Show history. Very easy to time up. That whole tempo thing, if you know or are into that, Trey Turner's a good one to utilize with it. Very fast, of course, good stats, really high contact. Trigger Trey's always good to play. A tier, Alfonso Soriano. I think he's a lot like that Bobby Grich, just kind of like a touch below. Really fun card. Always love his swing. I've had some success with that one. Brian Dozier, I really wanted to put him in S tier. Because he's so good. The only detractor is the vision, which is at 57. And again, vision, like we talked about, you want high vision because it increases your timing window. It makes it easier to get good hits and time up the ball. It literally gives you a larger opportunity to make a good swing. It forgives you. I call it the bailout stat. I know some of you guys are tired of me saying this, but it truly is, and it keeps you alive and counts. Having 57 vision is a bad thing, but a good thing is having 96 and 90 contact, 110, 95 power with gold shield defense, 80 reaction, 60 speed, with a bunch of quirks and a great swing. The Dozier's a lot of fun. CJ Abrams, love the swing, love the attributes, hate the fielding. 60 reaction really sucks. You're going to get the worst possible jump most of the time, and that is going to hurt you. Like I talked about on the previous tier list, if you are on a higher difficulty, if you're playing on legend difficulty, the strikeout scale, right? You typically see more strikeouts on legend, especially GOAT when that was a thing. Less balls in play means less opportunities for these infielders. So if you are on a higher difficulty or you just get lots of strikeouts, you could probably reasonably play these guys with poor defense a little bit more, and it doesn't matter so much because they won't have as many opportunities out there. So keep that in mind as well. But I do like to grade defense because it's very important this year more than ever. Ian Kinsler, definitely a fun card. This one does have defense unlike the last couple. So I do appreciate that change. Got a solid swing, not quite my favorite. Jazz Chisholm, I don't know, the fielding's not quite there. I like the swing. He's really more of a platoon guy, unfortunately. He kills righties. He's so good. 110, 117. He's just 91 and 73 against lefties with lower vision and silver shield defense. Not the biggest fan. Junior Caminero, love him. Again, another one of those 93s with like no fluff, no filler, all killer, truly. Elite swing, love the card, talked about him a lot. Ketel Marte, people are still going to love Ketel Marte even if it is February. The swing plays, and he's only getting better. He's having a hell of a year for the D-backs. Really happy for him. Card is still really good. Wencel Perez, the only thing holding him back is the contact right. It is sub 90. I think it's about 86, 88, somewhere in there. Would like to see it higher, but otherwise you've got kind of a 5-tool switch hitter, which is very good. Certainly at the top end of A tier, just missing out on S tier. I am taking a lot of time talking about these stuff. Sorry, I'm not trying to make this video be an hour and a half. We'll try and speed things up. Brian Roberts, a lot of you guys know how good he is. Jackson Holiday, I do like the card. I like the swing. A little bit of those 5-tool kind of as a detractor. It's difficult to flesh out a 93 when you're making the contact, the power, the speed, the fielding, and everything good. And second base is just a lower weighted position where it is easier to buff up overalls. So good card, not quite elite. Jose Altuve, the defense sucks, but man, can he hit. If you don't mind hitting with hobbits, he crushes for me. The power's lower, he still hits tanks, and he's got like mid-110s contact. Very good. Ryan McMahon, one of my favorites this year. Really did like him when he was within my lineup. For some reason, he was just an auto home run. Automatic, lefty-lefty. I saw the ball so well with him. Couple of switchies. We got Moncada and Jorge Polanco. The stats aren't quite up to the standard that the other guys are, but the swings definitely are very good. C tier. You got guys like the Ernie Clement, kind of fun, underrated. Kyle Farmer, Colt Keith, maybe not the biggest names that you could ever see, but the cards are really fun. Again, just stacking the attributes with what matters. So if you're looking for budget options, those would be ones, even though Farmer takes a while to get. Ozzy Albies, love him. Renifo, also pretty cool. But then you get down to D tier, and I just don't want to dwell too long on these guys. It's nothing personal, truly. There's just better towards the top. I think S tier, obviously, you've got some paid content. Brooks Lee did go down a bunch in price within the last update, which is nice. And then Bobby Grich, I think generally is probably going to cost you a little less than 100K, probably even less, or like 50, especially depending on what you get within your packs. And I think it's worth it. I think you get a really good card there. A tier, you've got some free stuff like CJ Abrams, Dozier, that Kinsler you get for free within the collection. He's the one you get from just playing the stuff. Pretty good. Definitely pretty obtainable for the best cards for second base. Let's move on to third base, where you see a couple familiar faces and a big change. I don't have Scott Rowland quite at the top. Now, I do think they changed his swing. Supposedly, it is a different one. I haven't had a chance to try it yet, but I've heard across the community it's different, and for the better, because it wasn't the best prior, right? Scott Rowland, he's got really good attributes. His hitting is very good. A lot of it is within the defense, and this might come as a hot take, because as a third baseman myself, back in my playing days, fielding is very important. It's the hot corner. It is probably one of the most important positions on the diamond for fielding. I just don't think it is within Diamond Dynasty, within MLB The Show. Reason why? It's the hot corner. Most balls hit to third are hit so hard where it gives your infielder one of those lackadaisical animations where they just don't have a time to make a play on the ball, even if they have 99 reaction. And if you play enough, you know what I'm talking about here. There's just not so many opportunities. Most balls are just going to be hit past them, where second and short, they are out there longer. You have more opportunity to range over. So that is why I don't care so much about reaction at third base. I do still care about fielding broadly, and the more the better, always. But I don't think it is as important as it should be. That's always something I'm going to vouch for, is making defense matter, because guys have jobs. Guys get multi-year extensions. Guys play whole careers on teams. Think your Andrelton Simmons and whatnot, your Ozzie Smiths, Hall of Famers, because they're so good defensively, because their glove is that great. So novel over. Let's get back to it. Brooks Lee's great, as we talked about. Vlad, I don't mind his defense at third. I think he plays a very comparable defense to a guy like Scott Rowland, and that's playing a lot of gameplay. That is just what the results wind down being on a high sample scale. You've got Chipper Jones, who truly offensively is very neck and neck with Scott Rowland. And he's a switch hitter, and he's got a better swing, and I think he has more quirks than Scott as well. It's just the defense is a little bit worse, but I don't care about that. Chipper Jones, in my opinion, might be the best third baseman in the game right now, even better than Scott Rowland. You've got Corey Seager. He's playing out at a secondary here, but he's still going to play just fine. One of the best lefty swings that you're going to find in the game. There's a reason why he's been so beloved in Diamond Dynasty for years upon years. And then Willie Castro, another guy, kind of like Carlos Santana, came out right along the same time. 93 does not matter. Who cares what that shield says? He's so good. Switch hitter, he's got everything. He's got contact versus both ways. He's got the clutch. He's got great power against decent power. It's like mid-80s. That's not Glaze the guy here. It's not a donut gomer. A tier, we got Jose Ramirez. I don't have him at S tier anymore because simply the inside edge is variable, and within the last roster update versus righties, he's not amazing anymore. He's still very good. One of my favorite swings. I will still play him a lot, but just looking objectively against the field here at S tier, I don't think he quite stacks up, even though the swing does. And for a lot of people, he's still going to be their 3B. I still love J-Ram. Again, it's nothing personal. Nolan Arenado. Love him. If you know, you know. If you've been watching the videos, 7 at-bats, 5 home runs. Enough said with Nolan Arenado. Rafael Devers. Defense, perfectly fine. And the hitting is fantastic. I really see the ball well with him, lefty-lefty. Just got one of those swings, which is very quick. And he's got the power. He obliterates baseballs. Very balanced, has good contact, vision, and clutch. Terry Pendleton, Scary Terry. Great contact. Better power than the Marlins card earlier on of the year. Shouldn't be quite as much of a line-out problem. Some people love the swing, some people don't. Scary Terry, A tier. Definitely a really good card. B tier, you've got a lot of guys we've seen already. There's the other Rafael Devers, considering this one's free. There's not really much reason to go buy a worse version. Machado here, very fun card. A lot of people like Manny cards. Got a good swing to him. A bunch of quirks as well. Tony Perez, bit of an underrated beast. The big red machine there, he's a lot of fun. If you're running a Reds theme team, definitely try him out. The attributes are really comparable to a guy like Caminero. I don't like the swing quite as much, but he is a fun card on paper. The attributes look really good. C tier, once again, you got a bunch of different guys that we've seen for some time here. A couple iterations of the tier list moonshot cards. You've got Color Storm, Javi Baez, Austin Riley, Mark Vientos. The new Matt Chapman, unfortunately, just not the best allocated attributes. Has some holes on him for sure, even though elite defense just doesn't carry as much as it should. D tier, fine options. A little bit outdated, of course, and then, down to F tier. Overall, third base, I think, is one of the deepest, if not the deepest positions in the game. If you look, Chipper Jones, you get for free. And like I said, I think that might be the very best at the hot corner right now. We'll move on to shortstop, where you see 3 guys we've already talked about, so we don't have to spend so much time. But I do want to reiterate what I said earlier, that shortstop, I think, is the premier position for defense within the infield. And I think you could equate that back to real life. It is very important. Having plays deep in the hole, it is tough. You need the range and the arm to be able to get the ball over to first base. It's a lot task to that shortstop. And these 3 are not amazing defensively, but they're good enough. They're all going to have like mid-silver shield, which is 70 to 79 scale, to even possibly gold with a couple of parallels. And some secondaries if you don't want to play him at shortstop. A tier, some guys I really do like as well. Corey Seager, I just can't quite put him to the switch hitting tier of Brooks and Willie Castro, and the attributes I don't think are quite up to the standard of Trey Turner, although Seager in my heart is S tier. Jacob Wilson, also a guy who I've really had a ton of success with this year. Plays way above whatever power rating he has. It's like low to mid 70s. He's got like 13 home runs for me across like 80 plate appearances. Don't know how to explain it. And he's hitting like 400, by the way. He's really good. And Derek Jeter's pretty much the same version. Very similar cards, a little bit more power than Jacob Wilson. Michael Young, that same archetype. Kind of mid defensively, great contact, vision and clutch, huge PCIs with decent enough power. Not elite power, but enough to definitely hit some home runs. Then Wenzel Perez, again, would like to see the contact rate a little bit higher for him, but really do like that card. He was amazing last year. Barry Larkin, he's fun. I don't love the swing, so I'm pushing him down a little bit. And overall, I think the attributes are just a little bit lower than those other guys. Bo Bichette, he's got like 65, 60 fielding. It's not good. The reaction's piss poor too. If you strike out 20 batters a game, maybe it won't matter. Kind of have the same faces in here for shortstop. You go down to C. Bobby Witt Jr., Lindor, just getting a little outdated with some of the updates they have. Lindor specifically, the clutch is like at 60. Again, for those of you guys don't know, we've talked about it a good bit here, but clutch, that rating, of course, represented off batting average and runners in scoring position situations and within the game. Contact is normally what determines your PCI. It's the hitter's contact versus the pitcher's hit per nine attribute. But coming in times when bases are loaded, runner on third, second and third, any situation like that, it flips. And batting clutch is the main determinant, and then pitching clutch for the pitchers. And having 60-something clutch is a big detriment. Bobby Witt Jr. has just lost a bunch of attributes throughout the year. He's still the 91, so it's just reshuffling, but I think for the worse. He's not quite as good as he was at the early part of the game, and he doesn't quite shine, but the defense definitely does at pretty much maxed out level. Elly De La Cruz, if you ever want someone who's just a flat-out elite defender, a Bobby Witt Jr., Elly De La Cruz having 6'7", max arm, diamond shield defense, and 90-plus reaction is ridiculous. You could not ask for a better infielder. He will play better than anybody else within the game for those reasons. Also, Mookie Betts, another one of those live series. If you love the swing, gets a good inside edge, always going to be a possible play. To round out the infield, shortstop, a lot like those other infield positions. You've seen most of these guys, and I do want to mention with shortstops, when you play them out of position, you can play shortstops at second base, whether they have the secondary or not. Typically, you're going to lose about 7 or 8 fielding, the same reaction and arm accuracy, about 7 to 8. It's scaled a bit, so if you have 99, you're going to lose maybe 9 fielding accuracy and reaction. If you're like a 60, I think you'll lose about 6 or 7. Broadly, it doesn't hurt him too much. And hell, you really can put a guy like Trey Turner in center field. I think at that point they lose. Well, let's see. We'll take a comp of Derek Jeter, who's a shortstop primary, no secondaries, and you see 71 fielding, 73 reaction, and move him to center field. He goes down to 56 and 58. So it's really one of those things. It's kind of reserved for the best of the best. If you had a Bobby Witt Jr. who comes with maxed out fielding, 95 reaction, he still sticks at 79 and 76. So it really depends. If you've got great fielding at shortstop, you can probably stomach the difference if you put him in center and they've got the speed. It's an interesting thing. Some people do it. You've seen it with guys like Trey Turner, Jimmy Rollins throughout the year in DD. It does work. They're going to play the same. It just depends on what their attributes come down to. A lot of the guys you saw before, a bunch of paid stuff at S. You do get some free stuff. Derek Jeter, the Michael Young, not quite free, but very cheap. Not going to be difficult to find a stud at shortstop. Let's go on to the outfield, and this one always gets to be a bit of a mess. Now, I'm just going to lump these all within one category of outfield. Now, when it comes down to secondaries here, any center fielder, secondary or no, can play the corner. You're going to lose the same amount of fielding. It's 4 fielding, reaction, and arm accuracy. If you have a corner outfielder who does not have center field secondary, you cannot play them in center field. They will lose a bunch of fielding. So kind of playing that ahead, it's just difficult if we grouped them as corner and then center field. The corner outfield would just be every outfielder because we'd have to include the center fielders. It gets into a big mess, but I think you can kind of tell, and we'll go throughout it as we be. Immortal tier, Beltran and Ted Williams. I don't think there's any card that is particularly close to either of these. Especially, they gave Ted Williams good fielding. I mean, he starts with Gold Shield, and he has 76 reaction with just shy of 70 speed. That is tremendous. The hitting is about as good as you could ever ask for. It is better than Beltran. Very comparable. Have Beltran in center, have Ted in left to right. You're going to be probably set until MLB The Show 26. I don't think it gets much better. We'll go to S tier. Now, defense does matter. Reaction is king. It is a big stat. I think reaction matters more than the actual fielding rating for outfielders because it's all about the jump. It doesn't matter if you can catch the ball if you can't get to it, and that's a big thing. I do not think within Diamond Dynasty how they've set the gameplay up, you can't really outrun a bad jump. You can't have like 99 speed, 50 reaction. Then arm strength obviously is important too. With that being said, we'll rank this. And I say that all with Juan Soto still being an S tier. He is not a good defender, but I truly think he is one of the best bats in the game. Besides Beltran, besides Ted Williams, I legitimately think he might be my number 3 bat within the game. The swing is about my favorite, and that's saying a lot. I say that for everybody. It truly is the case with Juan Soto. He's got all the important quirks. I think he has 10. So he pretty much has every quirk of the game. He is 115 against righties. He is very elite against lefties as well. He's got good vision, good clutch. He is so dominant that he will outplay whatever fielding he has. We're not going to categorize for DHs because just put somebody who is a good hitter at DH, right? I think you can figure that out. If you want to DH him, I would recommend that, but you could stomach him in the outfield. Ultimately, where do you play is a big factor. If you play at a big ballpark, it's going to be tougher to use a Juan Soto because he's got more range. There's more room for him to run. If you play at a smaller park, if you play at a Ship-it Stadium and have a fast center fielder like a Beltran, it's going to really alleviate some of those issues. Not going to cancel out the bad fielding, but it will make it a little bit easier on you. So Juan Soto, I think, is as close as you could get to Immortal tier within any other card. He is so good. Otherwise, you've got the new Joe Adele, who I really do like. I think he's a fantastic card, really well built. Tons of power on him, which 116 and 120 out of the box. The contact at 95 and 115 with 80 speed. The fielding is not tremendous. Whether you want to play him in center or the corners, it's up to you. It is a detractor, but the offense is almost as good as it gets. You've got Ian Happ. Really good defense. Not quite the same power as a Joe Adele, but awesome contact with one of the best switch hitting swings that you're going to find in the game. Really like Ian Happ. Hammer and Hank Aaron. He is an opposite tendency hitter, which that means the game prefers you to try and push the ball. He's a push hitter. So it is harder, and you have a smaller timing window on pitches that you would pull, essentially. You might find it, for that reason, more difficult to hit inside pitches with a Hank Aaron than it would be for a Bryce Harper, who's right there. Interesting thing that we've talked about a little bit within the game, just keep that in mind. I still think Hank Aaron is a very good card. He is really well-rounded. 5-tool player at 97 overall that they did really well. The defense isn't, maybe he's a 4-tool player. He's like 70 fielding. Bryce Harper, still S tier. You've probably got a bunch of parallels on him as well, make him even better. One of the best swings, him and Juan Soto. It is just ridiculous. I never feel like I'm having a difficult time seeing the ball with those two. Lefty, lefty, righty, righty, it does not matter. Inter McCutcheon, They got good enough power on him. It's not into the 100 category, but the contact is exceptional. Really do like this card. Good speed, good defense as well. He could be a great center fielder for you if you don't have a Beltran, for example. Lance Berkman, I mean, he's good enough at the outfield. I would say corners for sure. Probably would want to play him at first base, but hell, he's really better than Sammy Sosa when it comes in terms of reaction and whatnot, which is pretty interesting. Speaking of Sosa, I do like the card. I know not everybody is in love with the swing, and they were not tantalized while they tried to finish the program. Give him a shot, see if it changes at all. I think the attributes are there. The fielding I would like to see a little bit higher. The vision also is not tremendous, but now with no GOAT difficulty, it's a little bit easier, I would say. Vision is more important stat as you get higher up the chain of difficulties. Mickey Mantle, really good. I mean, we're not going to put him in S tier just because I don't think he's quite up to the Beltran Ted Williams standard, but he is awesome. 98 overall, chase card 300K, he better be. Wenzel Perez, of course, we talked him up. He's very good. A tier, we got Aaron Judge. He's horrible. He's one of the worst. Things that you probably never thought you'd hear, right? He's horrible defensively. I think he's truly about as bad of a defender as you could possibly have within this game, which I don't think is just. I don't think it's accurate. And I think when they do a fielding attribute update, Aaron Judge is going to get a favorable boost. But call it as you see it, the way the game is right now, minus the 4 parallels that I've got, he comes in a 44 reaction, 46 speed, and 63 fielding. That is dog shit. That is not good at all. So it makes him, in my opinion, unplayable in the outfield. I have won games because my opponent had Aaron Judge in the outfield. Yes, you get his bat, obviously. And yes, I still have him at A tier because he is so good offensively. Like I said, we're not doing a DH tier, so I still have to balance these out somehow. I would not put him in the outfield. If you're going to do it, have him play at Costco or somewhere where he only has to run like 15 feet because he's got no range in the game. Other good outfielders here too. Bernie, Buxton, Carroll, they've been around for a while, but they still mash. You're still going to have success, especially if you've got some parallel on those cards. Eric Davis, Evan Carter, kind of underrated cards that are really fun. Definitely give them a shot. Ketel Marte, better in the infield, doesn't quite have the speed that you would prefer for the outfield, but the bat is going to play no matter where he plays in the diamond. James Wood, really good swing. People like him. Acuna, same sort of thing. I'd like to see the attributes a little bit higher, but the swing is always going to play. Castellanos brings no glove to the field, just brings the lumber, and that is good enough. You got other cards here. Ryan Ludwig, kind of underrated. Jim Rice, also same note. Fun cards that are going to be underappreciated. So if you're looking for a new card, I know Jim Rice is expensive, but maybe you could take a look at him, Red Sox fans. B tier, some fun cards. Burleson, Adolis Garcia, Brent Rooker, Cedric Mullins, Jaron Duran. I just don't think they're quite up to snuff as the A and S immortal tiers, of course. But you're certainly going to find some good value down the line here. Dominguez, I know a lot of people love that card. You had the Chris Bryant, the Duran, both of those cards for free as well, although they will take a good bit of playing to get there. Ultimately, a lot of great options. You're never going to be in a situation where you cannot find somebody good for the outfield. It is requiring 3, but there is many more than 3 good, pretty easy to acquire options that you're going to be able to obtain. Of course, at the top, Beltran and Tedrick, they're never going to be free. But you look down at S tier, Rescope, you get some really good stuff. McCutcheon, he could be free if you get him in Weekend Classic, potentially. Otherwise, he's not too expensive. Hank Aaron's in the XP path. Ian Happ was free in the multiplayer path. Joe Adell, Juan Soto in the Player of the Month program, same as Sammy Sosa. I think outfield is probably the most equitable position of all in Diamond Dynasty. Here we go. The starting pitchers, always my favorite controversial topic. Who is the de facto 5 best starting pitchers? And this is how I would slice it. Roger Clemens, I'll rank these. Clemens 1, Kershaw 2, John Donaldson 3, Greg Maddux 4, Al Leiter 5. Maybe lighter 4, Maddox 5. Maybe I don't want to rank him. Either way, I think these are the best 5. Clemens is still the best. I put him over Kershaw. He's got the outlier, and he's got a bigger variety in speed. I mean, you can mix with him a little bit better. Kershaw's, of course, got kind of the eephus curveball, which is great, but overall, I still do prefer Clemens. John Donaldson truly could be my second favorite. The only thing kind of slowing him down is he's a 90. Like, his mix, his stuff is gross. It is flat out filthy. You are not going to fucking hit it. Flat out. It is really good, especially when you get up to high difficulties. Obviously, no GOAT anymore, but the attributes are lower. Even a parallel 5, the attributes pale in comparison to, of course, a Clemens and Kershaw, but even Maddox and Al Leiter at 97 and 95. It's just not quite the same. It's an imbalanced field, and you're going to face hitters who have better attributes than your pitcher has attributes, which makes things difficult, but bottom line, he's exceptional. Besides that one exception. Greg Maddux, he's really good. The velocity is not there, but it doesn't need to be. As I've said before, it sort of works in his favor that he doesn't throw hard because it makes him that much more accurate within the game. They look at velocity and your BB9 in determining your par, the perfect accuracy region, that shaded circle, showcasing where a perfect input pitch could possibly go. They're also tight. With Maddux, you can slice and dice with him, and you can truly dot. He's really fun. Same thing as Al Leiter. Not quite as accurate, but maybe a little bit filthier stuff with a little bit extra mustard on it with Al Leiter. Those are my favorite 5 pitchers in the game. You work on down to A-tier guys that just missed the mark. I think Randy Johnson is probably number 6, in my opinion. He's still really good. Again, like John Donaldson, the stuff is disgusting. It's just the attributes are starting to get a little bit outpaced. I really do like the Tarek Skubal. I have a hard time hitting him. It's tough. If you can figure out the stretch motion, of course, the pinpoint, if that's your preferred pitching input, it's difficult. It is so quick, and if you're not ready for it, you're going to mess up some pitches and pay the piper. But if you get it down, you're going to have tons of success because that changeup is disgusting. The fastball moving the way it does, the sinker is pretty accurate too. Really do like Tarek. Tom Seaver, Tom, terrific. Really fun. He's a BR card. He's expensive. But if you have an opportunity, go use him. He's definitely a fun start. Yu Darvish. They don't have the 8-pitch mix on him. He's only got 5. And I would like to see some sort of a splitter. You know, one of his most commonly used pitches. He doesn't have it, unfortunately. So that would maybe push him even a little bit higher. I kind of have him at the lower tier of A here, but still a fun start. I do like him. Pedro, kind of hit or miss for some people. I've had success with Pedro Martinez. Of course, this one has the cutter, not the sinker, like some of his cards later do, but he's got outlier, and I just mix well with him. I think he does a good job tunneling. Nate Pearson, 104 on the 4-seam, down to like 78 on the changeup. It's ridiculous. He will have some accuracy issues, but the stuff is there. And then Fernando Valenzuela. He is a high difficulty king. Floating that screwball in combo with that changeup is really tough. Mixing in a fastball or a regular curveball every now and then, he can be really good if you know how to use him. Kind of feels like it needs an owner's manual to learn how to use Fernando Valenzuela because there's very right and very wrong ways to do so because his pars are not tight. I mean, the pitches can really go a lot of places. B tier, the 86 Al Leiter. If you can't get World Series, if you can't afford the 95, I'm not going to say this one's just as good, but he is still very good. You definitely could win games with this 86 Al Leiter. That is how good he is. Charlie Morton got a fun sinker cutter mix. Same thing as fellow Ray, Drew Rasmussen right there. Dustin May, hard velocity king. He's got some nasty breaking stuff as well. Juan Marichal, kind of like Valenzuela, just the right-handed variation. I think he's fun, and if you know how to use him, you can definitely have success, especially on those higher difficulties where that 95 four-seamer really starts to mess with you when you throw that junk ball screwball in at 70. Chris Bubich, of course, always going to be a pretty good starter just with the funky mechanics and great repertoire that he has. Lance McCullers, kind of the same thing. Really do like him. 91, the attributes could be better. Give him a shot. Trust me, he's really good. I always like Lance McCullers cards, and I'm glad to see that he's back healthy this year. You've got Michael Wacha, Sinker Cutter combo. Ohtani, the pars are huge. He's erratic. You just got to roll with the punches sometimes. The stuff is still there. Sandy and Sunny, a couple of summer cards that are about 10, 15K on the market. Very good. I've had a couple of really good starts with them. Highly recommend if you're looking for a couple new options. Quinn Priester, pretty fun. Quinn Priester, pretty fun. Recently dropped. Nolan Ryan, I had to drop him from my rotation kind of quick. I think we did rank him high last time. I didn't have a chance to use him. The pars are even worse than normal with Nolan Ryan. The sinker is harder to control and has a bigger par than the curveball. And the sinker with the 4-pitch repertoire with how you pitch a guy like Nolan Ryan is really a requirement. The changeup also is kind of tough to control. You're really left with a hard fastball, and you just need more than that when you're facing good competition. C-tier, you absolutely could use these guys. I think they're still good online. Just not my favorite. You know, again, a lot of them older, like Bob Gibson or Andy Pettit, Corey Kluber, that just don't quite have the attributes like they once did. They got outpaced. And then some guys who just don't have quite the mixes, like Jacob Misiorowski. He's a 4-pitch guy. He's really a 2-pitch guy. He's got the fastball and the slider. The curveball is just not normally too effective online unless you have a trigger-happy player lower on in the rankings. It is usually pretty easy to discern a curveball, and most people are not willing to throw it into the zone because the pars are so big, and then the changeup is also very hard to control with Misiorowski, both in real life as it is on the game here. He's fun with the outlier 4-seam and slider, but if you face good players, it's pretty easy to read. I've shelled him every time I faced him, and pretty much it's the same when I've used him. Jose Soriano, new 95, pretty good. I had an opportunity to use him. I do want to talk about Paul Skeens. Man, am I disappointed. I've got like 4 starts on Skeens at this point, and I've probably faced him about 3-4 times as well. He's gotten mashed, and I mash against him. The fastball, outlier fastball, that's cool and all, but he's got the splitter and the Vulcan change, and then the sweeper and the slider. He needs the sinker, and he needs a changeup or a splitter. The Live Series has no changeup or splitter, and this card has no sinker. That's a feature pitch for him in real life, both of those, so it's really annoying, and it just makes it difficult. He's pretty inaccurate as well to boot. The per-9s are good. I want to like him more. I just can't. Sorry. D-tier, you got some fun cards here. Kershaw, early on in his career, 2012 version. Grant Holmes, the oldest looking 28-year-old of all time. Some fun stuff down the line here, the Live Series Skeens. And then you go down to the bottom. Probably would not recommend to use those. If you look at pitchers, I mean, Outlier free if you hit World Series. Kershaw free in the program. John Donaldson free in the collection. Greg Maddux free in the XP path. That could be 4 out of the 5 best that you could get from playing the game. With a variety of time requirement, there is no... Tarek Skubal's free. Yu Darvish is free. No reason why you cannot find an outstanding rotation. And finally, we'll move on to the bullpen. Starting with the right-handers, we've got S tier of Darren O'Day and Devin Williams. This doesn't change from last time. Darren O'Day, he's just so good. Like, he's got the funky mechanics, which is one thing. People claim, like, oh, it's not hard to hit sidearm. Well, it's hard to hit when he can tunnel a slider, a changeup, a sinker, a fastball anywhere in the strike zone at 100% accuracy. The pars are tighter than a small shirt on a fat guy. I mean, it is just so easy to work with him. You can throw anything, any pitch, anywhere in the zone, and it tunnels so well, all of them. The per-9s are still really good. Eventually, they will be outpaced, but they're still top class right now, especially with a couple of parallels. He's awesome. Love Darren O'Day. recent Hall of Pretty Good inductee as well, so congratulations to him. Devin Williams, the airbender, really good. Mixing a good fastball in with the screwball and the cutter. It's nasty. It is really good. He's got the slider on that mix too, I believe. He's just really difficult to pick up. 97 four-seam with the screwball. Kind of like a knuckleball, truly seeing it. And then he's got the cutter, which is also very accurate. He's gross. He's nasty. I love D-Will. Definitely my two favorites. A-tier Ben Joyce. I feel like I hit him okay. This is sort of a community pick. I know everybody loves the Ben Joyce. A lot of people I talk to, they really do like this card, so I kind of give him a little bit of a buff. Of course, you got the double outlier and the four-seam and the sinker. A lot of hard stuff, and then a pretty good slider as well. Dennis Eckersley, he's like Darren O'Day light. Doesn't have the same pitch mix, but funky. He's got a slider that you could put anywhere in the strike zone. It's definitely good. Eric Gagne, I really do wish he could be a little bit better. I don't think his slurve is quite as good as his traditional changeup would be. It's not quite as slow, and it moves in a different direction, which I think is for the worst. The fastball and the straight down curveball combo that he had in the past was like truly unhittable when coupled with that changeup. Still really good, just not quite S tier for me this time around. Felix Bautista, Mandingo, some of the toughest mechanics that you'll see in this game. The forkball is disgusting. And they said, I'll give a sinker to him too. He's so tough. Griffin Jax, one of the best sweepers in the game. Great 5-pitch mix with awesome attributes as well. Sir Anthony Dominguez, underrated. He's in that program. First card, give him a shot. I really do like him. Good motion as well with a great 5-pitch mix. B tier, some good cards as well. Try to work down, get towards the finalization of this video. I like Commute Evolve more than I thought it would, so that's kind of nice. Emmanuel Clase, he has the sinker this time, so it's sinker, cutter, slider. I still don't think it's quite enough. It's all coming in between 99 and like 92. It's all hard. It's easy to stay on balance against Emmanuel Clase. So I don't think he's tremendous. I always hit him pretty well whenever I face him. Otherwise, C tier, he got some fine options into D tier as well. A lot of guys that just came out months ago and are not quite as good anymore. Definitely can get some good stuff. Devin Williams is pretty much quick sell value right now. Get him right now. He will go back up in price. Invest in him if you want. Buy multiple. Not a bad idea because that card is always going to be in high demand, and he's not obtainable past the point of Weekend Classic, so consider that. We'll move into lefties. S tier, Aaron Bummer, Andrew Miller. I think these two are so good. I personally would almost rank them the number 2 best relievers in the game. Aaron Bummer, he's ridiculous. He's like a junk baller with the motion he's got. He doesn't throw anything particularly hard. About 94 is his top out. Everything tunnels so well. It is so tough. There is no pitcher I would... He's the pitcher I would least want to face with a left-handed batter. I've gotten shredded time in, time again with Ted. Ted Williams, who has 125, 100 against this Aaron Bummer. He is so good. Andrew Miller, that team affinity card is already awesome. Now they gave him a changeup, so he can mix speeds. He's got an off speed now. He's filthy. He's gross. A tier, Morajon. I do like that card. 5-pitch mix with sinker cutter combo. He's good. You're going to have that with Matt Strom as well. A little bit less velo, a little bit less attributes. Morajon's going to cost you, though. A little bit more than Strom will. Danny Coulomb, he's got the kind of slow-mo-esque 5-pitch mix. A lot of curveballs, a lot of changeups, sinker cutter combo that works beautifully in tandem together. Ian Seymour, pretty fun card. Tops now. Give him a shot if you don't have some of the top-end lefty relievers. He was not free, I think, but pretty cheap in the pack. Justin Wrobleski, really good too. I like him. Underrated for a 95. Josh Hader, some people really like him, some people not so much. I think the card is pretty good, all said and done. Then you go to C tier, a bunch of guys that are still really effective pitch-wise. Great repertoires, great mechanics, talking about an Andrew Miller, Chapman, Hobie Milner, Gregory Soto, Mark Davis. Just not quite the attributes anymore, and the same could be said for D tier. It's lower attributes, not fantastic mixes. Lefty bullpen, definitely recommended carry 3 is normally the amount. Is normally the amount of lefties that I recommend. If you can get Bummer, Andrew Miller, or Coulomb, or Morahone, you're going to be giving your opponent a tough time. So there we go. Almost an hour in this video. Maybe we did eclipse the hour mark. Hopefully you enjoyed just yapping about virtual baseball pixels for an hour. Comment Gherkin if you watch this entire video. Thank you so much. Again, let me know in the comments section some of your favorite cards that you've got a chance to use this year. Definitely look forward to hearing your thoughts, your opinions. Thank you for watching this one. A very long one at that.